Oh hey, so here's a question. Let's see what it's asking us to do. Well, if you look at this, we know that there's a number n. Okay, n is a number. And 2n has 28 factors, 3n has 30 factors. And we need to find how many factors does 6n have. Okay, everything is important, so let's break that down bit by bit. So let's say I have n and 2n has 28 factors. Now, one thing we need to know when we are looking for number of factors of a number is that we need to express this number as a product of its prime factors. So 2n can be written as 2. Alright, before we do that, we can express n as a product of its prime factors. Let's say n is 2 to the x times 3 to the power y times 5 to the power z and so on. Like we can have any number of prime numbers there, but let's see if that's useful or what part of it is useful. Now 2n has 28 factors, which means that the number will be 2 to the power x, and there's another 2 coming here, so we'll add a 1 to the exponent and the other exponents remain the same and so on. Now this has 28 factors. Now when we have a number expressed in its exponential form, like in the form of the product of its prime numbers, we know that the number of factors is given by the product of all those exponents plus 1. Like for example, x plus 1 is the exponent here, so we add 1 to x plus 1 is the exponent here, so we add 1 to it, which gives us x plus 2. Y is the exponent here, so we add 1 to it, z plus 1 and so on. Now this is going to give us 28. Let's park it. And we know that 3n has 30 factors. So it's not 3n equal to, it has 30 factors. Okay. So 3n can be broken down as 2 to the x. Of course, there's no change in the power of 2. 3 to the power y plus 1, because we are multiplying by another 3. 5 to the z and so on. Now if we break that down as that, if you find the number of factors for this number, it will be x plus 1 times y plus 2 times z plus 1 and so on. Now let's look at this carefully. We need to find the number of factors in the number 6n, right? How many factors? Yeah. So if we look at 6, we are going to multiply a 2 and a 3, which means that this question is concerned only about 2's and 3's as prime factors. So we can as well do away with 5 power z and the rest of the factors in every part of it. Look at that, how it's making our lives easier. So x plus 2 into y plus 1 is 28, and x plus 1 into y plus 2, oops, I've not written the number of factors here, this should be 30. Great. Now let's just break down these two numbers as a factor of two numbers. Now remember that x and y has to be integers, because of course it has to be 0 or above, whole numbers technically. Otherwise the n is not going to be a whole number. So let's say 28 can be written as 1 times 28, 2 times 14, 4 times 7. And since we are dealing with different numbers here, we need to consider the flip case as well. 7 times 4, 14 times 2, and 28 times 1. Alright, then let's break down 30. This is 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 4 times, okay, 4 does not go with 30, so the next factor is 5, 5 times 6, then starts the reverse, 6 times 5, 10 times 3, 15 times 2, and 30 times 1. Almost at the end of the screen, right? So let's look at what x and y should be such that this is satisfied. Now here x should be minus 1 because x plus 2 is 1, and y should be 27. Not possible, right? We can't have a negative exponent for x, so we'll rule that out immediately. Here should be 0 and y should be 13. This is possible. X should be 2 and y should be 6. Possible again, because x plus 2 is 4, y plus 1 is 7. Okay, x plus 2 is 7, which means x is 5, and y plus 2 is 4, which means y is 2. Sorry, y plus 1 is 4, which means y is 3. Oops, my bad. And x plus 2 is 14, which means x is 12. Y plus 1 is 2, which leaves us with y equals 1. So yeah, pretty much the end of it. Here y is 0 because y plus 1 is 0 and x will be 26. Little tedious, but okay, let's see where it leads us. Here x is 0 and y plus 2 is 30, which means y is 28. X is 1 because x plus 1 is 2, and y plus 2 is 15, which leaves us with y is 13. X is 2, y is 8, right? X is 3, y... No, not 3. X is 4, sorry. X is 4 and y equal to 4. Oh, this is nice. X is 5, y equal to 3. Now we could go on and do the same exercise for the rest of them, but I think we have found our answer. Because we are multiplying 2 and 3 to the same number, which means that x and y has to remain consistent. The number won't change. So x is equal to 5 and y equal to 3. Seems like there are answers. So our number n will be 2 to the 5th power times 3 cube. Now when we multiply by 6, we are multiplying this by a 2 and a 3, which means the exponent on 2 and 3 will increase by 1. Let's just write it down. 2 to the power 5 will become 2 to the power 6. 3 power 3 will become 3 power 4. And we need to find the number of factors. So we just add 1 to each power and just multiply them. So 7 times 5. Write it down a little neater. 7 times 5. And this is 35. Great. This was a good exercise for this. But what you need to realize is that one, we are looking at factors of 2 and 3, so it really doesn't help considering any factor above 5, any factor apart from 2 and 3. So we can eliminate this as it is from the beginning. So n can be 2 power x times 3 power y, and then once we multiply 2 to that, we get x power 1 as the exponent on 2 and y as the exponent on 3, and x plus 2 times y plus 1 is 28 here. So that leaves us with many possibilities for x and y, and when we take the number of factors for 3n, we get x plus 1 times y plus 2 is 30, leaving us with many other possibilities for x and y. Only one of them match with each other, and that's the exponents that we need to consider. So that's when we get the value of n, and n is 2 power 5 times 3 cube, and then we plug that in 6n. So each exponent goes up by 1, which means that to find the number of factors for 6n, we need to increase that exponent by 1 and multiply the numbers to get the answer. Okay, thank you.